So Pulsechain has higher throughput, better security, lower environmental impact to the point of nearly none, is a newer coin with more features, is faster than Bitcoin. But Bitcoin has an $800 billion market cap. Pulsechain doesn't. Why? Well, we're new. We're on the way, right? Things will get better, in my opinion. So like, oh, and for you listening, is that a forward-looking price statement? Nope, not a forward-looking price statement, not financial advice. So we've got a wonderful network. We've got wonderful features. We've got wonderful airdrop. There's, you can do lending on the Pulsechain network. There's projects that let you borrow coins. There's projects that there's stable coins on Pulsechain. There's all types of stuff people have launched on Pulsechain. Guys, the network is good. Works great. Oh, and the bridge is free too. Somebody set the bridge to 0 fee so that using the bridge has no fee, both directions. So if you go to bridge.pulsechain.com, there's no fees currently. In, out, either way, no fees. Now you're going to pay a fee on the Ethereum network. Nothing you can do about that. That's Ethereum's side, right? So you got a great network and you got a ton of free coins and it's been worked flawlessly for 7 months. Go make it great, guys. Launch stuff on it, use it, build fiat on-ramps, make a money transmitter in your state, make a licensed money transmitter in your state, and you can, make the community better.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another day in paradise on crypto stocks. Pulsechain is all going pretty good. And it looks like a bit of a pivot on at the moment, and the market's green. We're also going to get the inflation stats tomorrow and the next day. We've got PPI and the CPI. That's going to be pretty important for the market bullishness. And yeah, that's where we're at the moment. Let's get in the chat there, say hello. We're going to say hello to Lies Beneath. How are you today? Very good. Super sunny outside, which is really nice to see. So I'm going to enjoy doing some work outside and also going for a walk. It's going to be pretty good. Hex Pulsex incentive for the win, 100%. They've started turning green as well just before the live stream. So that's pretty good for coverage. I always enjoy that when they go green. We got Hexcavator in the house there doing a great job in the United States, building out the US infrastructure. Big shout out to Hexcavator out there, and Trent as well is out there doing some good work. So big shout out. And Wookie is off to good old Rarotonga to build infrastructure over there. So man, it's not just crypto, but building the world's infrastructure. We need that, right? We need that for to live our modern lives. So big shout out to all those 3 people out there doing the hard work. Green is good, says Excavator. Absolutely is good. And we're going to get into the markets on all of that. Looks like we've got Sandy Beach just dropping in there. Hey, Sandy, hope you're doing well. Now, Elon Musk and Donald Trump about to do their Twitter space. It's going to be pretty much trying to start live. I think they're having maybe a little bit of an issue with the overload. Of course, they try to prepare for that, but it's going to probably be the biggest interview out there. It's on Twitter Spaces that's starting up. So that's just seems to be on at the same time. So there we go. Something you can watch later on, perhaps. Sandy Beach's post there for the health and fitness. Big shout out to Sandy. Keep up the great work, getting everyone fit in the community. We appreciate that. And a big shout out to Sandy as well. All right, let's get into it. Let's see what the markets have had for us overnight. Let's go for gold. We got the stock market, first of all. We got Wall Street mixed ahead of economic data, CPI, and focus. So the CPI, if you're unfamiliar with the economic term, is the inflation rate, at least one of the main measures, and it's the consumer price index. That's what it is. Basket of goods, basically, that people need, and they sort of measure that inflation over time, changes in the prices. Now we've got the Dow Jones at the moment was down 0.36%, 140 points overnight. This is Monday, of course, US time, 39,357 on the index. S&P 500 was pretty flat, up slightly to 5,344, but the Nasdaq was up 0.2%, 37 points to 16,782. The Nasdaq's got all the tech companies in it, right? So that's not too bad. So just a bit of little mixed results there for the inflation data. We've got West Texas at the moment is up 0.5% at $79.63. We've got Brent oil's pretty flat, up down slightly to 6 cents down to $81.90. Yeah, so the West Texas was down 43 cents. Gold at the moment up 0.5% at $12 to 2,516, and silver back up over $28. Kind of nice. up 4.2 cents there, $28. And of course, we're expecting the commodities to really benefit from the interest rate pivot that we're expecting in September. So that's kind of where we are on that. Pretty cool. Now, the CPI data here, we got CPI data is expected to show headline inflation accelerated 0.2% in July from June, but unchanged at 3% year on year. And that's the mark we're looking at there. Obviously, the target in the US is 2%. And you guys all know that that came originally out of the New Zealand central bank, that target that a lot of the banks use. I think, what year was it? Back in 1989, something like that. Money markets are evenly betting on a 25 to 50 basis point cut in US interest rates in September. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. I think we might get the 50 basis points. It's kind of where I'm in the camp, and potentially 100 basis points, which is effectively 1 percentage point by the end of the year. So if the federal funds rate's 5.5%, that's saying that we'll go down to 4.5% by the end of the year. Just to give you an idea on the federal funds rate, the sort of the wholesale banking rates there. So that is where we are at the moment, and we're counting it down to the September meeting. So let's have a look at the economic calendar quickly to show you the economic data that's coming around the inflation. We're going to have a look at this week. Let's go to this week, and you can see we've got the PPI. That's a Producers Price Index, and that is tomorrow, and that's expecting a 0.2% rise. That is like the wholesale rates for inflation. Then we have the retail inflation. We're going to have CPI and core CPI. And of course, we're looking at that 3%. So if we get 3% or better, that's bullish for the markets, right? So let's hope for that. Fingers crossed that we head towards that, 2%, and then we'll get more likely to get the interest rate pivots and a bigger basis points, rather than 25 to 50. So that's kind of the idea. So that's on Wednesday. So Tuesday, Wednesday there. So we'll have the PPI tomorrow, and the following day, in 2 days' time, we'll have the CPI. And we do have a little bit of stuff out on Thursday. The initial jobless claims, that will be pretty interesting. And maybe some of the retail sales might be interesting as well, just in terms of the demand side and putting pressure on inflation, that sort of thing. That's kind of, and the health of the economy. So that's the stuff that's coming up on the economic calendar. Looking at the federal rate monitor there, just for the next Fed meeting, that is coming up in 5 weeks, 1 day and 17 hours on the 18th September. So that's our big move. That could be fantastic for crypto. Maybe not so much for stock market. Stock markets typically tend to pull back when we have an interest rate pivot, but it's probably going to be good for commodities like silver and gold. So stocks, crypto, silver and gold likely to get the better rally out of that. Stock market may, consolidate, have a bit of a contraction there, maybe 10% or something. We'll see 5%. Let's see what happens there. At the moment on September, we're getting 52% of the people think we can have a 25 basis point cut. That's 0.25%, and 48% expecting a 50 basis point cut. So it was almost split there for September. That is pretty much it. And of course, we're looking for some another rate cut in November. That would be really cool. Maybe only 11% expecting another 50 basis points. 49% expecting another 25 basis points there. So that's pretty cool. All right, that is the stock market. So pretty green. And look at the crypto. It's gone green. How about that? We got a couple of comments in the house there. So let's quickly go in there. We've got Trent in the house. Hey, Trent. Hey, all. Hope you're doing well there. Building out the infrastructure, as we say. And we got Wookie as well. Wookie has landed on the moon. Are you in Rarotonga already? Is that possible? Have you already landed? That's crazy, Wookie. But you did get up pretty early. So that's probably not surprising. So fantastic. You landed safely there in Rarotonga, out in the middle Pacific, for goodness sake. Just know you're stranded there now. It's basically like living on the moon, but it's paradise rather than being barren land. Rarotonga is an oasis of paradise, one of the greatest places on earth, no doubt. So a big shout out. Enjoy your time there, even though it's kind of like a work holiday for a couple of days. So we'll see you when you get back, and good stuff there, Wookie. Enjoy yourself. And we got green markets. Look at this. Woohoo! Green, green, green. Look at that. So Ethereum there up massive, 6.25 points there to $2,726. So a big rally there. I'm not quite sure what's driven that. Haven't particularly seen anything driving that, but that's really moved big time. We've got Bitcoin at the moment, $59,585. That is up 1.1% at the moment. So that's just that was delayed and just started pivoting in the last hour. The Bitcoin, maybe because Ethereum was dragging it up. That's kind of the play there. Everything else is up. Solana's up 3%. XRP's up 3%. ADA's up 3%. What else we got there? BNB is up 3%. And looks like a standout there is Matic. Matic's up 5%. So that's kind of cool for Matic. And what else? On Polygon, Those are kind of the leaders there. So that is it on that. Let's jump over to Bitcoin. And Bitcoin chart, we can see here we're just sitting back over the 200-day moving average. Yeah, come on, Bitcoin. I'm still calling 400K by the end of the year. And of course, that's Tom Lee, the analyst as well, is also talking about that. You might have seen him on CNBC. But that is where we are at the moment. So the 200-day moving average is 59,455. So 59,455. We're currently just over there at 59,611. And of course, we want to get back over 60K, right? That's very important. Get back over 60K. Now, one thing, people looking at this chart and they're a bit worried. Some people are a bit worried that we went a bit low on this dip. But hey, look, that's the volatility in play. It's not quite rolled over yet, right? You get a bit of a rollover. I think it's still in play for our bullish news coming up here. Now, obviously, we've got two big issues. We've got geopolitical risks, wars, Middle East, Taiwan, Ukraine, those kind of things. We've also got, obviously, we've got the stock market has been rallying very strongly. So any correction in that, particularly a major correction, we already had a correction, remember, on Monday last week. So if we had something more significant, typically they do come again. You get one event after having a big rally, and then you get another event. So we're still in that zone, through August, September, where we may get another event on the stock market, and the news will be very critical. That CPI data, the PPI data, but basically the CPI data really important, and possibly the unemployment stuff on Thursday. So we'll see how that goes. So at the moment, we're still in that vulnerability stage, but that's August, September. I've got a poll on at the moment, so just asking about what do you think we're going to have in October to December. And at the moment, I got, do you think we will have a bullish fourth quarter, October, December? So get in on that poll. We've got 10 votes already, so get there and let me know. But I'm bullish about October through to December, and obviously into the new year, depending on certain things happening. But the interest rate pivot, we're expecting 8th September, so that is ticking away, getting closer and closer, as we say. And then, of course, US election on the 5th of November. As I say, Donald Trump and Elon Musk having the big Twitter space on right now. I don't know if it's actually started because they were sort of setting it up and it was having some struggles there on the space, but it's probably either started now or starting soon. If they can resolve those technical issues, going to blow up the internet, that interview. We already see the EU trying to shut down free speech there, sending a very dark letter to Elon Musk before that meeting. And we also see the White House there setting up with their fake White House press corps, asking fake questions about trying to shut down Elon Musk and Donald Trump. So these guys are completely anti-freedom, anti-elections. They are so corrupt. We have to put up with them, unfortunately. But that is just the way it goes, shut down free speech. We see that in the UK as well, obviously moving into a police state, the UK, under the Labour governments. Labour governments everywhere always doing that stuff, right? Fascist statements. You got to remember, 2 world wars, we had to fight for this freedom. And now we've got Labour socialists trying to take all the way, to turn us into China. And, they're going to put up more cameras, more surveillance, take away freedom. And, of course, put in credit scores and all this nightmare stuff that we fought, that our forefathers and foremothers, I guess, fought to give us the freedom. So it's going to be a very big challenge in this election. Is that crucial? It is an election probably for 50 years, 100 years. Importance, this election coming up on the 5th of November. So that is it at the moment. And of course, it's going to not only be important for freedom, it's also going to be important for crypto, as we say. So those are the news there. So I'm feeling pretty good if we can get those good results in October for a nice little rally. Now that leads us into some of the drivers here. We've got the Bitcoin ETF. You can see here at the moment, it's got the flows here. And, we had a few outflows, of course, last week. But we've actually, at the end of last week, we had some nice little net green inflows, you can see here. And today we're actually, after last Friday, we were down. But today we're actually positive again, 14.4 million in inflows there coming in for the Bitcoin. So it's starting to lift there. And I think we saw that a little bit in that price. It was a bit laggard on the Bitcoin. So we expected some bigger inflows, like these big green inflows that we had before. So hopefully we'll get back into this as we lead into the fourth quarter. Moving to Ethereum. Ethereum, of course, is the big mover, but it's still way below the 200-day moving average, which has kind of got a death cross on my account here. It's very tentative. It's not quite fully crossed over, but is it 370? Yeah, it's kind of crossed over a little bit, but it's teasing us, and I think it might be short-lived. I think this might be short-lived, this little death cross. And we had a big day. We just obviously rallied big time. We went from $2,509 up to $2,750, and we're currently at $2,713 at the moment here on Coinbase on the daily candles. And you can see pretty much the 50-day and the 200-day are pretty much converged into a bit of a death cross. So, but it might be short-lived, that's my guess. And because I'm feeling pretty bullish once we get through August, September. So it might have a little bit of a dip. And then hopefully we get that rally into October, maybe late September with the interest rate pivot onwards, right? So 18th September onwards. That's kind of the play there, but really nice, powerful little bounce back there. And of course, the Ethereum ETF is slightly positive. We've got here the Ethereum ETF is showing, some nice little green inflows today. So that's looking pretty good in terms of ETH. So yeah, $3.9 million inflows there. So not bad in terms of ETH, about 1,500 ETH there. So just small, but I think we're going to pick up on that. I think we're going to pick up. So that's just one contributor to the demand side. Taken away there. Obviously, we've got Bitcoin memes, so we're going to talk about that too. Obviously, we're picking dog to go to the moon to be the big winner there in this bull market. Once Bitcoin really starts to take off towards that, the 100K mark, we've got dog go to the moon at the moment, sitting at 5.11 sats, up almost 4.8%. Market cap back over 300 million. But the important thing about this is not only do we have some other big movers like Ryzik is up big today, 26%. Becky Nakamoto is up 13%. We've got a couple of the other ones down on the bottom of the top 10. Number 7 here, Pups, down 4%, and all the rest of them down here. Even Lobo, one of my favorite ones here, down 8%. Of course, Lobo's got a big 10,000 NFT collection coming out soon. And I think you're going to have some Lobo. And also, what else did they have? Yeah, one of the collections, NFT collections, there's something over there. I have to go check that out. That is coming up. Now, dog go to the moon. Let's have a quick look at that. Now, the cool thing about this, it's gaining like 100, 200, 300 holders a day, depending on the day. It's now up at 80,911 holders. 80,911 holders. So these are real holders. So there's no inactive holders or little, mini dusted accounts. These are pretty much holders of the dogs. That's really quite a true holder count, which is pretty big. And of course, it's on the most valuable chain, Bitcoin. So that's going up very nicely indeed, which means that when it finishes its retrace, so if we go to look at all data on dog, we can see that it had its big rally, went up to 13.1 sats. And when it did that, Bitcoin was at $71,000. So it was pretty valuable at the time. Got up to 98 hundredths of a penny, so just below 1 cent. And then retrace all the back down here to $4.29 sats. And of course, the Bitcoin price was down as well. And now we're back up here at 5.11. But it's on a nice little wedge here. So let's zoom in on this one. This is on Magic Eden, of course, the number one DEX for runes. Of course, meme coins on Bitcoin. Let's have a look at the Gate.io. There's a centralized exchange for dogs. So this is the main volume is on Gate. We're looking for tier 1 exchanges, obviously, to list dog. We know that they've been talking about Runes Protocol on Binance, community letters, and all that sort of stuff. So it may be very close. And let's see how that goes. But once it gets some tier 1, it's going to have big gob mode green candles, right? So you guys know how it rock and rolls here as well. So good hold account. Potential for tier 1 exchanges, big community, most valuable chain, the best fantastic founder, Leonidas, definitely up there with the top founders, and fair launch and all the rest of it. So it's pretty exciting. Now we can see we've got this wedge here, a downward wedge, and we're looking very teasingly to break up from here. So what an entry at the moment, 3/10 of a cent at the moment. So looking pretty good. Now, if you want to find out more details about the cool stuff like this, definitely join the Strategy Club. The link's in the video description, $35 a month. But you get really great value. We're looking for multi-chain opportunities. One of the opportunities we just did a 1314X, and it's going up and up and away. So you don't want to miss out and stuff like that. It's looking really good. And I think dog's about to go ballistic as well. So looking good for that. And maybe we'll become the top meme. Who knows? I think it's got a good narrative for that. But it's got a lot of milestones to kick off to get there. But I think it's one of those ones that has everything, all the ducks in a row to do it. Now, here are the top meme coins, of course, on CoinMarketCap. We can see at the moment, if we look at market cap here, we've got Dogecoin at number 1. No surprises there, 15.6 billion. It is up almost 10% for the week, almost 7% of that just today. So it's starting to turn a little bit there. And as we see Bitcoin and of course Ethereum start to rally, go, maybe head towards those big numbers, that leverage plays and meme coins are ginormous, and we'll get some massive re-rates and mad money, crazy magic money will be made in some of these meme coins. Now we've got SHIB at the moment is up slightly this week. Pepe is up 10%. Dog with Hat making a big comeback there, up 29%, up 4% today at 1.7 billion. So we've got some nice little movers there. Popcat on Solana is up 32% at just over half a billion. So doing pretty well. What else is looking there? Look at Dog. Yeah, Dog go to the moon, up 22.6%. So looking really good is Dog, and up 5.6% today. And I'm looking forward to some big things here. This is the one I'm picking. The market cap you can see could be huge. So if it does ever take over number one spot of Dogecoin, you see 15.6 billion divided by 300 million is a mad gain, right? So 15.6, let's say 15, let's go 15.6 divided by 0.3. You're looking at 52x there. That's a 50x just to get back to where Dogecoin is at the moment. And of course, at a rally, Dogecoin is going to be 2, 3, 4 times higher than that. And maybe where would Dog be, Mark? That would maybe imply 150, 200x on the old Dog where it is at the moment. So pretty exciting opportunity there with all the ducks in the row, right? So looking forward to some big things happening there. All right, so that is pretty much that on the meme coins. Looking at market cap, we're sitting at 2.09 trillion. So still over 2 trillion for all of crypto. And that's up 1.3% on the 24 hours. And looks like the charts are really starting to pivot. Let's have a quick look at the AI coins at the moment. Have a look at some of the performances here. And we can see that Near token there is Near protocol up 10 or 11%. What are some BitTensor, which has been doing pretty well, still up 18% for the week, down 3% in the last 24 hours. We got the Injective up 15%. We got a Cash Network up 26% for the week, 3% today. Golem up 20%. So there are some nice little movers happening over on the AI coins as well. So not too bad. All right, let's jump over to the Pulsechain before we do that, though. Let's get back into the chat there and see who else has jumped in here. Let's see here. We got up to Wookie, didn't we? We got Brennan says, markets pump when Wookie goes on holidays. I see a correlation. I think the correlation is pretty good, actually. I think that's probably true. What else there? Wookie says only in Auckland Super. Are you still at the airport? I thought you had arrived at Rarotonga already. I thought you were supposed to get up like early in the morning. So you're telling me you're not even in Raro yet? I did that big speech for you. So anyway, it's still in Auckland. All right. So because you had to go from Christchurch to Auckland and then Auckland to Raro. Okay, nice. Or Rarotonga, as they say. Is Raro is that what they call it? Or is that the drink? Is that the drink Raro? Or is it both? Probably both. All right, good one, Wookie. Well, I hope you're having a good time there, and don't get yourself into trouble. That's the way it goes. All right, let's jump back into it. Look at Pulsechain results. We have turned green. Do you like that? So yeah, stocks, crypto, and Pulsechain markets are gains ahead of the inflation data. We got Pulse at the moment for day 458. We got Pulse price at quadruple 0356. Is that right? Yeah, I think that's right. Quadruple 0356 up 3.5%. So modest, but still green. 36% of the mean sacrifice price at the moment. We got Pulsex at the moment at quadruple 0197, up 4.5%. Now we do want to get back over that 2000 mark, right? We know that's a kind of an important level. And so yeah, down, up 4.5%. We got the buy and burn. Woohoo! It's hit 950 billion. Woohoo! Got to celebrate that. That's pretty awesome. 950 billion. We're only 50 billion away from 1 trillion buy and burn on Pulsex. I wonder if that will get the market going on Pulsex. Probably by the time we get there, I'm sure we may have had some action. That puts us also at 4.7% of the public supply has been bought up and burned. So that's a cool milestone today. So if you're an ex-influence out there, definitely worth talking about that. I might put a post out about that after the live stream. So get out there and do that. And if you haven't got into our poll, put the get up, vote in our poll. We've got 12 votes now. Get up there and vote on that poll. We're going to finish that soon. That's kind of cool. Incentive token up 6.6%, $1.87, and the ratio is back up as well. So 3.52% of that is the Pulse price. The rest of it is the ratio at 52,547 Pulse per one incentive. And the total amount of supply of ink is 39.4 million. And of course, that's from the Pulsex V1 farms. Looking at Hex on Pulsechain, it is at just under 4,600th of a penny. And it is up 4.2% today. eHex at the moment, 1100th of a penny. combined price of EHEX and PHEX, or Hex on Pulsechain, Hex on Ethereum, is 57/100th of a penny. That's the mark there. So that's day 458. Can you believe it? Wow. Let's have a look at the charts. Not too much to say about here. Obviously, we've got the Richard Hart response coming up on the 22nd of August, specific to Pulsechain, regarding the motion to dismiss the case against Richard Hart, Pulsechain, PulseX, and Hex. And so that is getting very close indeed. So only a few days away from there. 9 days away from that. So there we go. It's getting close, folks. Is it going to be a bullish event? Don't know. Are we going to get a little green candle on that day? Don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's kind of a bullish event in my view, but no one will be able to see it. So it's kind of invisible. So maybe it's a mute point. We got the oral arguments course coming up on the 22nd of October. We know that a lot of Pulsekins and Hexkins are going to be at their court case. I know Randy Alassi said that he was flying in for that. So that's going to be pretty cool. Get to meet some influencers there as well that are doing a good job out there. So there we go. That is pretty much it, coming up on 22nd. How many days is that away? Well, it is 70 days away until that big court case. It is a huge event for Pulsechain, and of course, theoretically, hopefully, we win that. That's what we want to win straight out of the gate. Otherwise, we got to wait for the US election on the 5th of November, and that's going to be potentially an insurance policy. Because Trump is pro-crypto. He's going to get rid of Gary Gensler and potentially put in a new approach to crypto, one that is clean and clear and simple, and of course supportive of innovation. We know he's supportive of that, and potentially dropping a lot of these lawfare cases, including the one against Richard Hart, Pulsechain, PulseX, and Hex. So that's kind of the insurance policy at the moment. Another good reason why we need that to win. Obviously important for Pulsechain. Now, obviously, if we don't win the dismissal case for some reason, although I think on a layman's front we've got a good chance of it, and we don't get Trump winning the election, which is still in his favor at the moment based on generic polls, and we looked at that yesterday. And of course, we also see that he's winning most of the battleground states, except for one's probably contestable. So that is still looking pretty good. Is the fact that we would go to information discovery between March and June next year, so it drags out even longer. It doesn't mean that the chart can't pump, especially with the crypto market pumping, but definitely it hangs over the chain, and I think we can appreciate that. All right, so that is where we are at the moment. That's on Pulse. PulseX at the moment is doing better, right, than Pulse. You can see it in the chart. This is the USD chart. We can see we're still holding on to this yellow angular support upward trend. So that is looking cool. In fact, we actually bounced off it yesterday. So look at that. We actually bounced off it. We got down to a low of 1792. And I said to you that we had support at 17 and 1800. And that's kind of, we got the top of that range. And now we're back up at almost 2000 again. So bullish at the moment. We did have a negative bearish cross, but it's a very good chance that will be short-lived and we'll bounce back up to the upside. So far, everything looking pretty good. We've got angular upward support. We've got higher lows, and we're slowly getting some higher highs here, kind of. So fingers crossed on that. So we could have quite a bit of rally in here, and that could be pretty good. We might end up on the bullish case, rallying up to 35, 3600, something like that. Could be pretty good in the mix. The other thing, of course, if we change it from USDC to Pulse, and have a look at the ratio there, we can see that clearly PulseX is more valuable compared to Pulse. The trend has been our friend, and now one PulseX will get you 55% of a Pulse at the moment. So that's looking pretty good. We even got up to 60, 60 there percent of a Pulse with the PulseX. So we're not bad on that one. You can see we're already up 4.6% there. So looking pretty good. There's PulseX actually. It's obviously not back at the sacrifice price, although we did get there back when the Magic Cart Ride pumped us $15 million. But that's kind of it. We got INC at the moment is at the top of the range with the ratio. It was at the top of the range. It's just come off that into the middle of the range. We're sitting at 52,500. A nice little bounce back yesterday from 50,139. So it's beautiful in the farms. I mean, anyone earning in the farms got to have had a good time in the farms. Let's go have a look at the farms quickly. I wasn't going to look at it, but let's have a look at the yields at the moment. Every so often we do like to do that. So let's have a look at that. Smash. Let's go have a look at the yield farming. I know many of you are yield farming. We've already done polls around that, and many of you are yield farming on PulseX. as part of your crypto portfolio. We can see at the moment Pulse is at 12% APR, so just ticking away there, nice conservative yield, better than the bank though. And then of course we got Hex Pulse 23%. We got Incentive Pulse at 33% and Incentive Pulsex at 27%. So still looking really good. We've got tens of millions of dollars in those pools, as you can see. Now looking at the bridged-in stable coins, DAI, USDC, and USD Tether all matched in with Pulsecoin. There is sitting at 60% on DAI, 62% on USDC, and 60% on USD Tether. So still holding up very, very well, and quite a bit of money in those as well. Finally, Ethereum there from a bridged-in matched with Pulsecoin, sitting at just below 36% on the yield. So still looking very good on the Pulsex V1 farms, and that's where you earn the incentive tokens if you provide liquidity for those as well. So if you haven't done that before, you would go to liquidity and you would add the liquidity on a V1 for those particular pairs, and then you'd get some LP tokens for providing that liquidity. You'd come to the farms, and of course you would then click on there and you would connect your wallet and you would stake your LP tokens that you did from providing that liquidity. They're kind of like your ownership tokens, and then you'll start earning some incentive tokens. That's how easy it is. Those two steps, you provide liquidity and then put your LP tokens from your liquidity into the farm and earn the big rewards in terms of INC token, obviously, which is doing pretty well. All right, so that's it from that one. Let's jump over to Hex on Pulsechain. Has managed to bounce here. Yesterday we got down to 42 hundredth of a penny. We're back up almost to 4,600 of a penny. A nice little bounce back here. Super cheap on Hex. That's all I'm going to say. It's pretty super cheap. So good opportunity to pick up Hex here at the moment. And of course, EHEX likewise at 11 hundredth of a penny is looking good as well. That's probably all we can say there. Looking at the Hex derivatives, we're looking at Icosa is up 10%. Hedron's up 5%. Now, Alex McFurter is out and about pushing some stuff. So I guess Hedron Icosa 2.0 is in the mix. He's certainly him and his data center as well, isn't it? Was that David Fetter? I'm trying to remember who's got data. I think it was Alex McFurter with the data center. So that's ticking away there at the moment. Up 10 and 5%, so not too bad. So we might try and check out, see any more news from David Fetter there. Looking pretty good. We also had the Hex Gold Whale, I understand it, has had a couple billion Hex liquid. I believe he's staked it. I'm going to double check on that too, but I believe he's staked that. So that's pretty bullish. I mean, that'll be a big percentage of the liquid supply. So if that's the case, they'll be pretty bullish. And maybe he's going to do some God mode candles on Hex at some stage. I don't know, it's speculative. But let me know your thoughts on that in the chat if you've seen anything on that. All right, so that's kind of the play at the moment. We'll try and find a bit more on that topic. Maybe bring that in, maybe not tomorrow, but the next day. Let's see how we go. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow. We got Stability Stables at the moment. PDI at the moment up 2.5%. That's 1/1600th of a penny, so not too bad there. Followed by USDC and USD Tether, up 1% or so. We've got LUSD still down at 6,850 with 7 zeros, LUSD. But all the rest of the stable coins pretty stable, except for Coast is 2 cents under peg there. And so is HexDC. It's about a 1.5 cent under peg. Moving to influencer coins. I know there's been a bit of drama about some influencer coins. Obviously, the lack of liquidity in the Matty Allen. But Matty says that that's not him. That's not his issue. So that's pretty important there. At 1.66%. What else there? We got Scooby Steve or Steve Hitson up 7% there. Ben from Ben Armstrong. This is the V1 copy on Pulsechain. That is up 5.8%. Bromance there from BitBoy. Ben Armstrong up 4%. Access Alive up 3.4%. So we've got a bit of movement there. And we've got obviously more token there from Trayvon up 3%. Nope token from Randy Olasky up 2.7%. So little gains there amongst the influencer coins. Let's jump over to the overall markets for Pulsechain. And let's see how we're getting on there. 11.6 million for weekday volume on a Monday. So that's not too bad. 11.6 million. Obviously, we want to get over 25 million or more. It's kind of where we want to be humming, that or higher. We're seeing about just under 170,000 transactions on 24 hours. Looking at the top movers, we can see that Time Dividend. Yeah! So into Money Wallet there. Big shout out to KG. Done a great job pushing this through for a long period of time, upgrading, and really is leading the way there. Native wallet there for Pulsechain. Time Dividend up 18.44%. Yeah. I guess what happened to Richard Hart's wallet? Well, I guess, the SEC maybe have dampened that out for the time being. We got, it's still out there though. Yeah, imagine if he gets through the SEC and has another sacrifice, that'd be pretty interesting. That would also get rid of a lot of coins, right? A lot of Pulse and PulseX and Hex coins. Imagine that coming along. That's a bit of a flashback, but you just never know, right? You just never know how things play out. UFO at the moment up 15%. We got Die Hard as well up 15%. And not a big movement on PDI, but Die Hard's up. There we go. Pika's up as well, 14.6%. What else there? Alien is up 12% there. So some good, nice little movements on some of these DAO reflection tokens and meme tokens. PDC Grey is, of course, the father of them all, as it were, is up 11.5%. So some nice little movements in that space. Definitely one of the better ecosystems out there. Doing a pretty good job. And we interviewed, of course, one of the founders a couple of weeks ago. Kind of cool. What else there? INC from Pulsechain is up in the mix. And Mafia, of course, Mafia, the #1 GameFi on Pulsechain. Big shout out to Jacob and his team. Now that is up 7% at the moment, sitting at just over 11/100th of a penny. And of course, we covered that 2 days ago with the Syndicate. If you haven't seen that or 3 days ago, Syndicate, if you haven't seen that show, that's really good with Archie the Don. Launchpad there, we haven't seen anything launched on it yet, but that's up 7%. So fingers crossed there. And those are some of the honorable mentions. Obviously, Hex is in the mix as well. Managing to get 5%, which we talked about earlier. That is where we are at the moment. So, green across the board, starting to rise up there. We're going to have a good day in the office this week. Definitely plausible, especially if we get good inflation data. We could see some real nice movements on Pulsechain this week if we get that off the bottom. If we get the nice inflation data tomorrow and the following day, right? If we get all that positive economic data, that's going to fuel the markets. Woohoo! And yeah, that's kind of cool. That's why we keep a lookout on the economic data, right? You can see how quickly it can move it. We saw how the Asian Nikkei got crashed on the employment data. And so it does have a big play, especially after the markets have rallied so much that economic data becomes more important, right? That's the reason why we cover it. So that is a day 458. Let's get into the gas prices. 157,000 beats, so pretty good. 0.2 of a penny for a Pulsex swap, 100th of a penny for a Pulsecoin transfer, and 400th of a penny for a PRC trend transfer at the moment. So Pulsechain, great day, place to do business. In fact, what is the Gwei on Ethereum? 2 Gwei. We're 969 times cheaper than Ethereum. It's still at that level. Isn't that awesome? So pretty cool. Validators at the moment, 48,493. We've got 1.55 trillion staked at the moment. Now, if you want to set up a validator, it's obviously with the Pulse price down, it's a great time to get 32 million Pulse. You can become a direct validator. And if you don't have the hardware, you can get preloaded by buying it through David Feather's validator store. They currently dominate 51% of the active validators at the moment. So good, easy way to do that if you want things nice and simple. Yeah, good time to get in. Passive income, of course. Bridge tokens, yeah, we're up. So yesterday, I think we're sitting at 90 million, right? 90.2 million, something like that. We're up at 92.4, almost 92.5 million. So it's a nice over $2 million gain overnight. So that's kind of cool. PDI is still looking pretty normal, 27.4 million. ETH is obviously up in price, 6 or 7%. So that's gone up. So that's kind of cool. Wrap Bitcoin obviously up as well. Coast still below peg, so still pretty similar. EHEX there up slightly. So some nice little gains. I haven't not looked. I was supposed to do that. In fact, I did, didn't I? Yesterday I made a snapshot of the day. So let's have a look here. So yeah, PDI pretty similar to yesterday. ETH there is up. ETH is up. Wow, that's pretty good. ETH is up let me do the math here. About 1.7 million on the ETH. So that's kind of cool. Looking at USDC, that's up about 50K on USDC. USD Tether is up about 60, 70K from yesterday. EHEX there is up. It's actually up about $300,000 on EHEX. And Coast there is pretty much the same. And of course, Bitcoin there is up about $40,000 on Bitcoin. There we go. It's a good thing I took that snapshot, right? Maybe I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again because that's actually really useful. Makes it nice and simple for me rather than just trying to, proxy work it. I can get down to the nitty gritty, as they say. If you haven't danced the nitty gritty, you haven't danced at all, they say. You know that joke. Anyway, so there we go. We'll move on. We're at 459 days. That's what we're on now. We just started day 459 on the Pulsechain journey as we head towards 500 days, but we've still got what 41 days to go for that, or 42 days. So heading towards 500 days on Pulsechain. It's going to be good. All right, so we're probably going to get some memes later on if we do pump by day 500. Everyone will go, well, it took 500 days, not 365, not 12, was it 12 months or whatever, but 500 days to pump. How about that? That'd be hilarious. All right, so that's it at the moment. You can see the markets are still moving. Look, Pulsechain's still moving up. It's got greener and greener since we started talking about it. So that's kind of cool. Let's jump over to the Hex Daily Stats. Day 1714. We're waiting for day 1715 So we haven't got that out yet. So let's go back to the chat, and we might finish that poll up as well. Man, there's so much stuff in the market to talk about. There we go. So do you think we will have a bullish fourth quarter? That was the question for October and December. We got 57% said yes, and I'm in that camp. We got maybe at 28%, so a little bit uncertainty there, and a no, 14% saying no, no, no. So something will deny us from that glory. Fingers crossed. The yes vote is correct. So that's about almost 3 out of 5 of you. So big shout out to the 14 people that voted for that. That was cool. All right, what else we got? Let's see what else. Wookie says rare is the way. I'm not sure what that meant. No, you mean Raro is the way. Yeah, going to Raro. That is probably going to be a lot of fun. All right, let's see here. We got the results out yet. I'm just waiting for these results here for the Hex, but not quite out at the moment. Like I say, yeah, things are turning a little bit there today. Nice little start to the week. That's going to be hopefully good. We get good inflation data, good employment data on Thursday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, then, man, we could have green. And it is going to be volatile in August, September. I still don't see that going away. But it could be on the positive side of the volatility, right? So we shall see. September, like I say, is normally a negative month out of Bitcoin. So what is that, 15 years or something? So it's normally about, I think, 2 months has been green. The rest of the time it has not. 13 years. It's pretty much been red in September. But we are in a Bitcoin halving year, and they can often be green in that time frame. So yeah, fingers crossed that everything goes pretty well. And we also have the potential for the interest rate pivot, but that may make the stock market go negative, and it may, like we typically see after interest rate pivot, but maybe the crypto does its own thing. That's the fingers crossed on that. And if we get the Ethereum ETFs, the Bitcoin ETFs start rallying in more money now, that'd be really positive as well. So yeah, fingers crossed there. All right, what else? I think that's kind of it for today. Haven't got the Hex data's not out yet, so we might have to cover that tomorrow. Now, talking about tomorrow, I do have a show coming up. It's it's on Ethereum and Pulsechain, kind of. It's a hybrid. We're going to have Eric from DragonX. So if you guys are familiar with DragonX, many people in the Strategy Club and the Discord will know. But DragonX founder Eric is coming on. Very innovative guy, very doing successful with the protocols. Obviously the chart for DragonX has been going through the moon the last a week or so. So definitely doing pretty big stuff there. Well over, like I say, 13, 14x at the moment. And who knows how high it could go. It's going to be pretty fun to see. He's going to be coming on talking about DragonX. He's going to be talking about Titanx. He's going to be talking about, obviously, that's on Ethereum, but he's also going to be talking about Pulsechain. So that's going to be cool. And he's got a protocol that's going to be launching on Pulsechain. May rival Mafia on the GameFi side there. So that's going to be coming up as well. In fact, let me remind myself what that is. So just let me pull that up for a second. We've got there's a little bit more to that tail. So let me have a look here. Pull that up. All right, so that's coming up there. Let's have a look here. I'm going to share the screen on this one, and bam. So this is coming up here. It's going to be an interview with Eric. We're going to be covering DragonX, of course, Titanx, which is doing very well on Ethereum. We're going to be covering SolidX on Pulsechain, which is Whale Lasky's big whale friend, right? So we're going to be covering that. And, of course, he's got some bullish new projects. Of course, he's working with Jake Sharp there, and they got some bullish projects coming out. Obviously, X28. There's a Shadow project, and of course, using a DragonX as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You can see Eric down there on the bottom right. So don't miss that. That's in 25 hours. So it's on tomorrow. It's going to be at 2 p.m. So normally I stream at midday. So that's going to be 2 hours later. So I'll be doing double streams tomorrow. One on the markets at normal time that we just do now, which is at midday, and then a special one there with Eric. You don't want to miss that, because that is potentially one of the biggest bullish ecosystems on Ethereum and Pulsechain. So it's a double whammy there, and could be big extra returns for a lot of people involved. Which is what people are after in this big bull market coming up. So fingers crossed. Things are getting exciting in September and October for that ecosystem. So it's going to be a great interview. Good timing for that, though. Definitely come and watch that one. All right, I'll post the link to that in the chat there if you guys want to get notified on that one for tomorrow. So check that out. That is coming up there. If you're on any of the channels, Superman, Superman X, Superman Crypto, sorry, Pulsechain X, Superman Crypto, or Hex Token. Definitely check that out and hit the notification bell for that tomorrow, and share it around. Share it around to people who are out there that may be involved in any of these, or that may think will benefit. Definitely check that out there. All right, that is that. We still haven't got the Hex Daily stats out today, so still waiting for that. Maybe another 10 minutes away, but I think we're going to wrap up, and I'll talk about that again tomorrow in the market update. So what are we going to say? 45 minutes on the hour sounds pretty good. Things are turning green, folks. So get DCA for the win, because the market's starting to getting pretty good, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities this month, August, September, in my view, and then game on from October if we're right about that. So which I think we will be. Fingers crossed. All right, take care, everybody, and I'll catch you again tomorrow. I'm going to play out Richard Hart and the Magic Carpet Ride, because it is what we're all about here in the bull market, Magic Carpet Ride. Peace out.
In theory, if someone were a billionaire and they had like all this money, why wouldn't they just buy more of the thing they liked instead of dumping the thing they liked? Like if Bezos bought shares in Amazon, would you be pissed off? If Apple does a stock buyback and they buy more of their own shares in their company back from the public, which is a way to turn earnings into yield for the shareholders, do you get mad and yell at Apple? And so we had to come up with a word for this fan fiction fantasy, which is the opposite of a rug pull, called a magic carpet ride. And so if you're worried about risk of a rug pull, what weighted value have you given the risk of a magic carpet ride? And it's just hilarious to me.